and I'm also going to explain why I have 3 partitions and the last one. Now, before, when I used to use Windows XP, every time I will install the operating system on the whole hard drive, and have my files on that same hard drive and everything. Now I'll have my partition like this whole hard drive and install Windows XP and all the files on it. So what used to happen is that if I had a bug or a crash or something, then I had to wipe out the whole hard drive and lose all my files. So my option for doing that was, since Windows supports allowing you to create more than one partition on one single hard drive, what I'll do is create 2 partitions. One part of the partition will be for the operating system, and the other part won't have an operating system. It will just be a formatted part of the hard drive on which I will put all my files. It's formatted. It's just like having a USB drive where I can save all my files and documents that I do not want to lose in case of a crash. And in the first partition, I'll just install the operating system. I'm not making any sense right now, but let's go ahead and do this. So now my hard drive is 250 gigs, and due to the fact that one is a 1 megabyte, yeah, 1 megabyte is 1024 kilobytes. That's why you have this number here. If you divide 250 by 1024, this is the number you get. You get a little more than this, but just a little space is reserved for the hard drive information. So this is 250 gigs, even though it doesn't say 250. You could do the math. 250 divided by 1024 will give you 250,000 divided by 1024 will give you 244. And okay, we have 232 here, so between 244 and 232, the rest is reserved for hard drive information. Alright, so now let's format this. I need 3 partitions, because one partition is gonna be for Windows Vista, the other partition for Windows 7, and the third partition, which is for my purposes, is going to be for saving all my files. Now you could choose not to do that, in which case you just do 2 partitions. Alright, so to do that, you select the drive, you select new, and for Windows Vista, I want to use, say, let me see, 30 gigabytes. Or let me see, let me do some math here. Give me a second. Okay, I already done my calculations. I want 160 gigs for my storage partition, and I want 50 gigs for my my Windows Vista partition. Now, if you want 50 gigs for your partition, you're not gonna just put in 50,000 megabytes to get 50 gigs. What you have to do is multiply 50 by 1024. And that will give you 50 gigs. So 50 times 1024 is 51,200. So I'm gonna put in 51,200. That's gonna be my Windows Vista partition, and 51,200 is 51.2 megabytes times another megabyte. That's 51.2 gigabytes. That's the math there. Okay, so I click apply, and it's gonna format that and give me, see what I said, 50 gigs exactly. So I've already done the math. In order for me to have 16 gigs, 160 gigs for my storage partition, I'm going to have to format the next partition to 17,860, and that will leave me with 160 gigs left. So now the second partition I'm gonna put at 17,860. That's about 17 gigs. So 17860. This is where I'm going to install Windows 7. Alright, there you go, 17.4 gigs, and I have 165.4 gigs left. That's just a little small error in the math, but yeah, you get the idea. So if you want a 50 gig partition, make sure you multiply 50 by 1024. That will give you the exact partition you need. You need 20 gigs, 20 times 1024. And just put in 20, otherwise you'll get something less than 20, and then you'll be like, oh, why do I have 20? Well, that's because 1 megabyte is equal to 1024 kilobytes. Alright, there we are. I have 3 partitions. One's 50 for Windows Vista, one's 17.4 for Windows 7. Now I have it so small because basically Windows 7, this is a release candidate, and it's not the full version of the software. It's just for testing purposes, so I don't really need to create that much space for it. And then the rest of it is for my storage partition, for saving my files, so in case my computer crashes, I don't lose all my files, but I could just fix my operating system, wipe it out and fix it, and I still have my storage partition left. Alright, so I have my 3 partitions. You could create more than 3, you could create 4, 5, as many partitions as you want, and you could choose how much space you want each partition to be. Alright, so that's done. So we're gonna click next. Oh, before I forget, since this is the partition I want to start with first, as install Windows Vista first, so I'm gonna start with this one. Alright, that's where I want to put it. Yeah, I mean, you can pick anything else, but you got to choose the one you want to install this operating system to. Alright, so I click next and let Windows DVD run its magic. So we're gonna let this run for the time it's gonna take. This for me, it's taking about 45 to 50 minutes to install, so just gonna wait for it to complete its process, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so Windows Vista finished installing. That took about 40 minutes there for me, and so this is the first screen you're gonna see once the installation is complete. And here you want to type in a username. I'm just gonna type in Kyle XY. That's the name of a show I like. And you can put it on password if you want, but since I'm the only one using this computer, I don't put in a password. And here you can also change the picture that shows up on your profile when you log in. The default is fine for me, but you can change it to anything you want. And if you don't like any of the default options, you can always go into control panel and change it into whatever picture you want. So you click next, and here you want to put in a computer name, and I'm just gonna use Limit as my computer name. And down here you could change the background if you want, and you could choose any background that you want from the default ones that are here, but you can always change it later if you don't like the ones that are available. So you could change that later through the control panel. So click next, use recommended settings. Of course, I'm in New York, so I'm gonna change this to Eastern time. You can set the clock and the date. The date is fine, the time is correct. And so next, you get a thank you, click next, and the Windows Vista is just gonna go through a process of updating your operating system. This takes a few minutes depending on the speed of your computer, so just give that a time to do that, and we'll be right. Alright, that took a little less time than I was expecting. That took about 3 minutes. So what you will be greeted by is this screen showing you the welcome center, and from here you can go into other options. Now I don't like this screen popping up every time I could turn on my computer, so at the bottom here, where is it? At the bottom here there's an option to okay.